Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make this face mask. It's really simple to make, takes about 10-15 minutes to whip up if you have basic sewing knowledge. You can use any sort of soft breathable material that you have at home, like a t-shirt. It also has a unique design that allows it to accommodate a large variety of faces. Plus, it has an opening on the bottom that allows you to throw in any sort of DIY filter that you might have on hand. Let's get to it. First thing you're going to want to do is head over to thereanimatorproject.com and print off these free sewing patterns. Because I'm making more than one mask, I have traced the pattern onto a milk carton that has been flattened out, and it allows me to extend the life of that pattern. Other than a sewing machine, these are the materials that you're going to use to make the mask. For fabrics, you can use anything that is soft and breathable. In my case, I'm going to use a Hawaiian t-shirt and a piece of linen. I'm also using 1-inch ribbon or very thin webbing. For hardware, I'm going to be using something to mark the fabrics with. I'm using 8-inch copper wire, and I'm using scissors and an iron to prepare the fabrics. Before we start tracing and cutting, we want to make sure that our materials are prepared first. With this pattern, it's very important that you keep in mind you want the bottom of the mask to have a finished edge. Looking at this Hawaiian shirt, I see that the edge is already finished. I don't have to do any work there. For the sake of contrast, this linen has a raw edge that I'm going to show you how to fold over and finish yourself. For your fabric, you want to make sure that you have it ironed first so you have an accurate trace. The next step would be to fold a 1/4 inch. And then fold again. We're going to finish the edge of this fabric with the sewing machine. Alright, so I'm using a piece of the arm from this Hawaiian shirt, and as you can already see, it has a finished edge. So I'm going to be taking advantage of that by leaving it as it is and just ironing it flat. The next thing you want to do is trace out the pattern. Bring the bottom of the pattern right to this finished edge and mark. You can use a variety of things to cut this fabric. I'm going to be using a rotary cutter because it's accessible to me, but scissors also work fine. We're going to begin sewing. You want to start from the bottom and work your way up to the top. Continue along this line, reach around to the other end, and finish up on the other side. Alright, what we're going to do is flip this inside out. Bring this over to the ironing board. Give it a little iron. Give it a little heat. We want this part to stay open, but we also want to reinforce the edges. So what we're going to do is sew around the perimeter of the mask that has already been sewn shut to reinforce it. Alright, so we're approaching the end here. We want to make sure that we leave this open. So we're going to stop our sewing right here at this edge and reinforce it. So this is what the final product of our mask looks like. You have ribbon on the top of the nose bridge with wire inserted in between, and you have loops at the very ends. With your ribbon, what you want to do is prepare the ends. You want to fold it in half. You want to sew for 2 inches, insert the mask, and then continue to sew. I'll demonstrate. Then I want to continue off of the mask, sewing onto the webbing. Then you want to trim the ends around 2 inches on either side and insert your 8 inches of copper wire. Next, what we're going to do is seal up the ends of the ribbon. Nice and clean. Fold over the ribbon to the front of the mask. This is the side of the mask that is going to be facing outward. Next, I'm going to reinforce this ribbon to the top of the mask, creating a loop. And do the same thing to the other side. So now the top piece of the mask is done. Good job. Now we're going to prepare the rest of our ribbon for creating loops on the side and the bottom of the mask. You're going to do the same thing you did earlier by folding the ribbon in half and sewing directly down the line. You're going to take this ribbon and you're going to cut out 4 2-inch pieces. These 2-inch pieces are going to be folded in half, and they're going to be 1-inch loops that you will then attach to the mask. I'm then going to finish the ends of the ribbon. You want to grab your fabric and start sewing these loops to the outside face. So we just now finished sewing on all of these loops. We're then going to flip the mask over, so you're now looking at the inside. You're going to go right to this edge and fold that edge in half. Then you're going to be inserting this loop right on the edge and sewing that into place. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Insert the loop. So this is our final step. We're going to sew a diagonal stitch here, creating a triangle, and that's going to give the mask shape on your face. This diagonal stitch is going to be about inch and a quarter. Keep that in mind when you're sewing. Now you're done. The next step is to lace it all together. We are using bungee cords because that's something that we have available to us. At this point, you can really use anything. A shoelace, rubber band, you just want it to be comfortable around your face and tight enough so you can get a good seal. We're going to start from the top. We're going to take our bungee cord and tie the end right up here around this loop. Bring this cord around to the other end of the mask. Perfect. That's the top loop. Now for the bottom, we're going to start going through this bottom loop, and then we are going to circle through and tie to this middle loop right here. Then do the same thing but on the other end of the mask. Through the bottom loop, up and through the middle loop. That's how you want it to work. So now you're ready to put this face mask on. First things first, you're going to take the bottom straps, loop them around your neck, loop this top strap around your neck as well, and place the mask on your face. Use your fingers to pinch that wire right on the bridge of your nose and underneath your eye sockets. Bringing your hands over to the end and tying down the strap. We're using a cord lock because it just makes things a little bit easier. So now this is nice and secure. Perfect. Then we're going to take this bottom cord and pull it back, forming a nice seal on our face. A little bit of information about DIY filters that you can insert into this mask. There's a lot of information out there. You need to do your own research, but we have included a template, 5.5 by 6-inch square, that accommodates a wide variety of filters that you can make yourself. What you do, open up the bottom of the mask, make sure that it's square, and you're good to go.